SDAO. So SDAO, no man's land right now, right? This is one of many hedges I have on the market, right? A hedge meaning essentially like, I'm positioned long in the market, right? So obviously I'm super heavy into all these long positions, the Metas and the Teslas and all the other stocks I own, right? So I need to save some face somewhere if the market's to tank in any major way, right? So one of many hedges I have is SDAO, which is basically 3x working against the market on a daily basis, essentially for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, it's in no man's land right now because we're in a confusing time where we're not getting a clear signal one way or another, okay? And so this is something I positioned into back in December 2022 as just one of a few hedges I have in the market, right? Now, in terms of what could spike SDAO, and in terms of spike SDAO, really get SDAO to start going up, okay? And obviously get the Dow Jones Industrial Average to go down. There's a few potentials here. One is debt ceiling. I don't know if that's really going to freak people out. There's a lot of people that are really worried about that, including Jamie Dimon. There's a lot of folks that are really concerned about debt ceiling and that causing panic in the market. I don't know if we're really going to get that. However, it is a potential, okay? If we got clear indicators that we're in recession, going to recession, and things were to get ugly or something like that, that could be something that certainly spikes the SDAO and obviously tanks the Dow Jones Industrial Average. If we get a more serious bank going under, okay, something, it can't be SVB or First Republic or some of these guys that a lot of people weren't even familiar with before a few weeks ago. We need something serious to go under. If some real big, I don't know, a Schwab or a U.S. Bank Corp, like something just crazy that I was like, wow, that big, huge financial institution went under. If we got something like that, that would obviously tank the market in a substantial way. And obviously, if we got a major inflation spike, that could tank the market in a major way, and SDAO would spike on that. But inflation spike, I don't see that being very realistic, okay? So the only things I think are really the most probable is if we got a serious bank or financial institution to go under. I think that's the one thing that could really spike this market big. Debt ceiling's a potential, but like I said, I have trouble seeing the market actually freaking out over that, to be quite honest, okay? Now, another way you can play, there's a lot of different hedges you can play in the market if you're looking to hedge your portfolio, and I did a super in-depth 45-minute video on a bunch of different hedging strategies and super in-depth in the private stock group recently. If you want to apply for that, check out the description area down there. But another way you could play it is you could just buy SH. SH is essentially working against the S&P 500. So on a daily basis, let's say the S&P 500 goes down 1%, then SH should go up 1%. Okay, so that's another way you could play it. If you wanted to get a little more risky there, then you could obviously buy something like call options on SH. If you want to play it a little more dangerous, or you could play it less dangerous by obviously if you funneled in less money, that's another way to play it. Okay, so that's kind of the hedging situations that are going on out there. And by the way, I do own some SH as a hedge as well. Now let's talk about Palantir. Let's talk about, selling Palantir in the 9s or whatever, okay? First off, from a long-term perspective, obviously I believe that's a very poor decision, okay, for a long-term perspective. I believe, Palantir has such an incredible product and such an incredible opportunity in front of the company and over the next 5-10 years. The profitability is literally at the infant stage. There's companies just getting to profitability. And I mean, wait to see how this baby ramps up the profitability over the next several years. This is like first inning in this game. So from that perspective, on a long-term basis, in my opinion, just a horrible decision to sell all your Palantir stock. From a short-term perspective, in my personal opinion, also a bad decision, okay? And the reason being is the company's now been profitable 2 quarters. They need 2 more quarters of profitability here to ultimately end up getting an S&P 500. So we're probably I would say we're between 6 and maybe 10 months away from Palantir getting in the S&P 500, okay? If that's a scenario, and we're anywhere from 6 to 10 months away, I can tell you as we get closer and closer to S&P 500 inclusion for Palantir, what's going to happen with their stock price? Well, likely you're going to continue to see massive inflows in regards to Palantir's stock price, okay? You're going to see more and more hedge funds buying in. Imagine next quarter they have a third profitable quarter, then it's like one more on their end. So as you get closer and closer, there's going to be more and more people buying in. Now, also from a selling perspective, like how many Palantir bulls are really going to sell? You could have somebody that was just trading at short term, like obviously Chicken was there, right? In regards to selling it. But at the end of the day, are you really going to get the long-term bulls to sell out of that stock? No. If anything, the long-term bulls now have more conviction in Palantir than ever. And if anything, all the long-term bulls in the stock are much more likely to continue to buy these shares rather than sell these shares. So for Palantir, we're looking at a story here that is very, very bullish for the next, 6 to 9 months on top of the next 6 to 9 years. And that's a rare thing you get in the market, where you have a really attractive opportunity in a stock for the next few months, but also you have obviously an incredible opportunity for the next few years in regards to this one, okay? And obviously in regards to Palantir here, they just beat revenues very nicely last quarter. They obviously beat on EPS as well. They put pretty low guidance out there, in my opinion, so they could come in with a nice beat. And we're looking at a company that on 2024 numbers is trading at a 2024 PE of roughly 36, 37. And once again, this is a company that's at the infant stage of profitability. So when you're talking about a company that's at the infant stage of profitability that has among the best gross margins you'll find of any public company in the world, I think it might be undervalued significantly. And if we want to add a cherry on top in this whole situation, look what Alex Karp said. The depth of engagement with and demand for artificial intelligence platform is without precedent, which means they just have overwhelming amount of either government clients, commercial clients, asking questions about their product, looking in their product, interested in their product. And if that's the situation, you're going to see massive amounts of closed deals for Palantir over this next, I would say, 12 to 36 months. And obviously, once Palantir gets in the door, they got a pretty sticky business model there, and they're likely going to keep, the majority of these customers they attract over this next 12 to 36 months, now that everybody has to consider an AI plan for their companies. So, Palantir's in a really good setup for the short term and a really good setup for the long term, okay? Whether the stock goes down next week or next month, it's anybody's guessing game, but things are positioned pretty darn well for Palantir now at this point in time, okay? So, obviously, I don't super agree with that. There was a time when I really felt like Chicken's advice was really, really good in regards to the market, okay? And, I'm not going to say he's right or wrong in terms of if a stock's going to go down in the short term, you could buy it back and all those sorts of things. The one thing I'll say is just he used to be very practical in the market. Don't try to time the market, build a great portfolio. And I watched a lot of his old content, and I thought he did a really good job of messaging, of keeping people focused. And it just seems over the past, I would say 12 to 18 months or so, he's really gotten off track. And he's now all in the market, all out of the market, all in a stock, all out of a stock. And, last week it was all, I got my stock portfolio all in Palantir, and now it's like I'm out of Palantir at $9 something a share, right? And so it's just all over the place. No hate. I don't hate him. Chicken, if you see this, I don't hate you, okay? I just think in terms of, your strategies and what you're pushing out to a lot of people, massive amounts of people watch your videos. And I just think you're going away that I don't think is healthy for you or the audience or anything like that. That's just my personal opinion. So no hate, man. Okay, that's the bottom line with that. That's just my perspective as somebody that's seen your channel for quite some time now, okay? So